it is very reasonable and healthy to assume that after all the human history, from the Stone Ages to the ages of tools and migration to the different continent, to the medieval time in Europe, to Renaissance and industrialization of the West, that we at least see some civility in many parts of the world. But that's not the case. Unfortunately, still we are witnessing savage behavior, systematic abuse, systematic dictatorship across the world. It appears that every decade or every centuries there are a group of people, group of governments, or group of individual that they have done mass killing, mass abuse, slavery in different nations, and then the world just stand, witnessed. Sometimes they acted, but majority of the times they just stand and watch. Let's go back to the time of the Genghis Khan in 1862. Genghis Khan, although seems to be very brave, but it was a brutal person. It go from the part of the then Rome and now is Europe to the Mediterranean area, to the Persia, and conquered many countries and brutally killed more than 40 million. And this was not only the soldiers, but he killed children, he killed women, elderly, and merchant. Well, that was then, and still the world was undergoing some changes. Well, we come back to 1800 and 1900, many centuries back. In between there were some atrocities by other people, but we want to make this short and agreeable with everybody. Then Stalin in Russia, he also, in the name of the divine and majority, to improve the life for the citizen of the Russia, he killed probably between 15 to 30 million. That's a huge number. I don't know if you imagine that 100 dead bodies, if you just look at them, and how you can place them and room them in one areas. Because if you have a 10 by 10 area, you can put 500 people alive standing there. Just imagine 15 to 30 million people killed, and he killed them in the name of the progress. Well, then came back to 1900, a few decades back, and Pol Pot in Cambodia, he also killed more than 2 or 3 million. He devastated the agriculture. The killing field in one of the schools that subsequently become the killing field, and then the prison for all those that were kept to be killed, that also amounts to 3 million, and probably migration of another 2 or 3 million. Devastated Cambodia in the name of the divine. Well, then came to China in in 1800 to 1900, 1970s, a few decades back. And Mao also assumed a divine role. He devastated the country. In addition to many people, he killed millions of sparrows that we have talked about it, and hopefully you know about it. And also killed probably around 55 to 60 million. I'm really asking you to close your eyes and imagine what that 55 million people piling up dead look like. Probably you and me cannot even tolerate seeing one or two being witnessed, but actively killing 55 million. That's a very important. So some of this the world witnessed, some of them reacted. Hitler also between 10 to 12 million, and the world collectively acted upon with World War II. So you think, the story is over, and then Bashar al-Assad come across in Syria, which using a chemical agent and killed 3 million with the help of Ayatollah in Iran. And then you think that's it. He's not going to do anything else. And this decade is fine. Now we are facing the Iranian uprising. After 50 years of atrocities and many uprising that in many areas, even without uprising in 1979, in number of the occasions, they killed 4,000 to 5,000 of the prisoners, and then they executed and they killed another 3,000, and then in 1988 1,500, in 2022 1,000, in 2023 1,500, and then in 2025 and 2026, according to the report, 36,500, based on observation with the physicians and communication with the physician inside Iran, 50,000 and even more, and ongoing atrocities, mass killing, and the world is standing and watching. One of the big question is, and you should again close your eyes and ask question, what if we stop all this killing? And why we are killing and why we are tolerating this killing?